Yo, it's Trey again. Welcome back to the channel. And I want to talk about the new DC Future Slate thing. DC just released a whole bunch of stuff about the Future Slate, and I'm just gonna be honest, it's looking like a hot mess of all new, all different Marvel again. But before I talk about Future Slate, I just wanted to talk about the fact that I believe DC killed its goodwill with the fan base. Now I know what you guys are talking about. What are you talking about? People still support DC or whatever and stuff like that. But what I mean is, when you're a comic book reader and a fan of comic books, it gets kind of annoying that DC and to an extent Marvel keeps trying to change things about the popular or the main timeline to try to appease these new readers or bring in new readers or get some like brownie points over on Twitter or something like that. And it's annoying. Within the past 11 years, DC has done reboot, relaunch, soft reboot, and everything in between. Why? Why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? What was the purpose of that? To bring in new readers? Great. It was a success the first year, New 52. Woo, but you could have did that without even having to reboot the continuity. I'm sorry to tell people this, but if you're one of those people that was like, oh, comics are complicated, they should have rebooted or all that kind of stuff. No, I'm sorry. You're just lazy. No matter how you want to look at it, why should a company have to bend the knee for you because you're too lazy to read the comic books or you're too lazy to figure out how to start in and stuff like that? And don't get me wrong, there are some kids or people who don't know, but I was a kid when I got into comic books and I knew absolutely nothing. I just picked up a comic book, read it. It looked cool. I made sure I went to the comic book store. I went to the grocery store, whatever bookstore, whatever, and asked the person that was working there, hey, when you getting a new shipment of books in or something like that. And then, when you go to a comic book store or bookstore, sometimes they'll tell you, hey, here's the next issue for that, or here's the previous issue, so on and so forth. And then I did my own research for it as well. But to sit up here and reboot this whole entire DC thing, whatever, is getting kind of old. It's getting boring too, especially when they adapt a lot of their storylines from pre New 52 anyway. Truth of the matter is, no matter how people want to get mad or whatever, something like that, the truth of the matter is it's time for DC to go back to the pre New 52, post Crisis on Infinite Earth timeline, because DC just keeps taking ideas or trying to, rework the pre New 52 timeline stuff into everything or whatever. Whether it's an alternate comic book take, whether it's a video game, whether it's movies or TV. 9 times out of 10, the characters look like their pre New 52 timeline selves. So if I was in charge, wouldn't that make sense for us to go back? Oh, so you alienated some of the new fans. Oh well, too bad. I'd rather alienate the new fans than the old fans who've been reading DC for 30 plus years. When they did the post crisis, when they did Crisis on Infinite Earth, there were people who, dropped DC or whatever, but at the same time, DC made it easy for people to get into. And yeah, there are a few complications and stuff like that. But the problem is, a lot of people just get lazy. Just admit it. Just you're lazy to figure out how certain things work. Not everything has to be friendly or, easy for you to pick up and go or whatever and stuff like that. I'm sorry to tell you that that's just not how the world works. Like, nobody should have to keep changing things to try to bring in new people. Either they want to come in and read comic books themselves or not. But let's be honest, I mean, the prices, the marketing for comic books, the locations of comic books, hey, that is what it is. But now that AT&T owns Warner Brothers and all of these subsidiaries, it's kind of funny. It's just like, okay, so you're bringing in all of these Hollywood big shots to write the new 52. I mean, not even new 52. I mean, the DC new slate. And to be honest, all of it is just a big excuse to bring in diversity characters in the big roles of the main characters that we already know. Like, come on now. A black Batman, a Mexican Wonder Woman, Jonathan Kidd and Superman, you know, Aquaman's daughter, even though he had a son that I'm surprised that they even let him have a child. But of course, they would make a daughter because, can't have sons anymore because that's problematic at this point, too. But it's just kind of funny. Like, everything from the DC stuff, just it's like, okay, so you got 2 months. You got 2 months of this little mini event where we see the future. Guess what? We don't care. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Don't care. I don't care about the future of the DC universe anymore. All of that goodwill got destroyed when, oh wait, the new 52. Yeah. Convergence. Oh, did you forget about Future Sin? Yeah, DCU. No, you didn't forget about that, did you? Oh, Rebirth. Oh, Doomsday Clock. Oh yeah, Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah. Like, come on, what more do we have to keep going through with all of these mini reboots or soft resets or whatever? Enough is enough. It is time for DC to buckle down, go back to pre New 52 continuity. You can take a few things that you got from the New 52 or whatever and stuff like that. But for the majority folks, majority people who see DC characters in general, they look at their post crisis pre New 52 timeline selves. You can say no, they don't. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Mostly everything that is adapted is from post crisis pre New 52 timeline. There's only a few things from the New 52 that is adapted, and that's about it, you know? And most of the New 52 stuff that is adapted is coming from Batman and Green Lantern. But when the New 52 restarted, Batman and Green Lantern really didn't get rebooted. So everything kind of still happened as if nothing happened, really, except for a few changes here or there. But for the most part, it was the same. So why change all of that? You know? And then it's just like, okay, you're asking people to give this a chance, but how many times have we given DC the benefit of the doubt just for us to get slapped in the face with nonsense? Because there are some writers who can't stand certain things about the DC characters or whatever. And I'm sorry, if you're working in comic books and you can't stand what the fans like about these characters or whatever, get another job. I'm just being honest. It's not about you, it's not about your ego or anything. Stop destroying the comic book characters or trying to change them to please your selfish needs or something like that. I'm not saying that you can't have a few little moments or whatever, but killing some certain characters, taking away things that people like about these characters just to try something new or whatever, when you're not even doing anything new, you're not even adding anything new to the character. That's the problem. You guys are always trying to change up things, shake it up or whatever, but you're not adding much new to anything. That's barely why we don't even have any new comic book characters. Think about this. All of these characters that you have in the DC universe, and we're not even talking about the popular main DC characters. You have a lot of untapped characters, and yet you keep doing reboots to put diverse characters into the popular DC superhero characters. Why? What are you doing? For what reason? That's lazy. That is lazy as hell when you have too many characters out there that you can give a good event to. No offense, it's time to put to rest, not like permanently, but it's time to put to rest, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern. Put them to bed for a little bit. Put them to bed for a little bit, Let other characters run the DC universe. Let other events happen that doesn't star them. You got to take chances with these other characters that you have before you keep trying to reboot, retcon unnecessary things. We've given you all of the chances in the world, but it's getting tiring. Like what is this that I'm looking at? I'm looking at all of these titles. The Batman family. You got the Future State, the next Batman, the Outsiders, the Arkham Knights, the Batgirls, the Gotham City. Then you have the Dark Detective, Grifter, Red Hood. Who cares? Who cares? You could have just left everything alone, to be honest. And then you got what? You got these monthly miniseries. You got Batman, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Nightwing, Robin Eternal. To give what? Another so-called Future's End? Because that's really what this is. This really looks like maybe a put together half plan plot of Future's End. Let's just hope it ain't have anything to do with robots and the Justice League looking like hot messes, to be honest. And then what? You got the Superman family or whatever. You got the Superman of Metropolis. Then you got Superman World Wars, the Immortal Wonder Woman. And then you got Future State, House of L, Cars of L, Superwoman, Legends of Superheroes, Superman and Wonder Woman, Superman versus Imperial Lex. And then you got Wonder Woman. Now you got the Justice League family. And then you got Future State, Justice League, Green Lantern, Suicide Squad, Aquaman, The Flash, Teen Titans, Shazam, and Swamp Thing. Like, come on, what are we doing here with these? What are we doing with this? You'll reboot these characters or try to put in diverse characters or whatever, but you won't even put time and effort into your lesser known characters. Like, come on. All of this time that you wasted doing unnecessary reboots, putting diverse characters in places that they shouldn't belong, when you already have original diverse characters that don't even get enough time as it is. You can't keep just doing this. There's only so much goodwill that people can give you, DC. And I'm just being honest. I mean, if this goes through and it does well or whatever, and then it goes back to normal or whatever, I shouldn't be hearing another relaunch or reboot of nothing in 2021. You know, after this event, it shouldn't be, oh, here's another mini event series, Crisis on Future State. Like, come on now, no, we're done. We're done for the next 40 years. No, 50 years. No more reboots, no more relaunches. You continue the stories. If people want to get on, that's great. If not, that's fine, or whatever. But all of this relaunching characters, especially the main ones, over and over and over again, and not using the ones that you have, is getting kind of old. I'm just being honest, DC. You gotta draw the line somewhere. You know, all of this nonsense that you guys keep doing is getting tiring, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if you guys like Future State, tell me guys what you guys think in the comment section below. Tell me if I'm wrong or whatever. Like, subscribe, or whatever, and I want to hear from you guys and see what you guys might think about the whole Future State. Like I said, it's whatever. I don't know if I want to read Future State. I probably will ignore it and probably just go and get some more back issues anyway. That's what I've been doing lately anyway, going back and reading old classic DC comic books, because let's be honest, I haven't read every DC comic book, but I'm enjoying reading the old stuff before the New 52, to be honest. But yeah, that's the video. Peace out, everybody.